Today we're out on the patio because one, it's actually starting to get really warm and majority of the time I want to be outside. And two, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite patio friendly animals that you can raise to live a more self-sustainable lifestyle, and that is the quail. And we're going to specifically be diving into the Coturnix quail, which we have here at our homestead, and I believe they're one of our favorites and maybe the best type of quail out there, and that's because they grow at a rapid pace. So you can actually incubate them in around 2 weeks, and they'll start laying eggs at around 8 weeks, which blows my mind in comparison to chickens or even other types of quail. We did have the bobwhite quail, and they can take up to a year to actually start laying. So the Coturnix quail are going to be a great animal that you can raise, and because they're small and you don't need too many because they're going to produce around 1 egg per day, you can actually raise them on your porch, balcony, patio, anything like that. We have a friend in the city who actually was raising them on his balcony, and that's why I think that they're the perfect patio pet. I'm Danielle of the Split Arrow Farm, and welcome to our channel where we bring you new content twice a week about how you can start living a more self-sustainable lifestyle, and quail are such a great way. And we're going to be going all through some tips and tricks for hatching your own Coturnix quail, and we're going to start off all the way from actually purchasing your quail to the ability to grow them out and get them laying eggs. Let's get started. The first step of getting quail is going to be actually making that purchase. Now, you might know someone locally or via Facebook or Facebook groups that actually has some, which is great, and you should definitely capitalize on any local ways to get these. We love local. But you can also order these online at probably traditional stores that you could order any type of chickens from, as well as fun sites like Etsy, Craigslist, or the likes. And we actually purchased ours from Etsy multiple times, and we've had great success from there. When you get your little guys, they're usually going to come into some type of foam wrapping, and they're most of the time going to be shipped in an egg form. And this is because the little baby quails are just so fragile that they're not really the best in these travel situations like the chicks are. They usually will just not be able to make it. So they're going to ship them in an egg, and sometimes even in little cartons like this, any type of foam wrapping. And you'll be able to actually get started pretty quickly. When you get that delivery, you want to make sure that they are able to ship it in a good amount of time, and whoever is delivering these quail eggs to you will know exactly how many days they really have from the start of when they were laid to when you're going to start incubating. So you're going to want to be set up and ready to incubate the moment that you get your eggs. So you're going to need to source some type of incubation system. We have a Nurturay 360, and I'll include a video down below of our review on it. We've had really great success, really great hatch rates, and it's really easy to use, which is awesome. When you get your eggs, they're going to arrive. You're going to want to leave them out on the counter that first day for anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. And why you want to do this is so that they can actually get to room temperature. And this is going to help make sure that if there's any bubbles in the eggs from transportation, that they're able to just settle down and relax before you put them into the incubator. At the same time, we'll usually prep our incubator, make sure that it's set up in a room that isn't going to fluctuate too much in temperatures or humidity, anything that's going to be a lower traffic area so that you aren't kind of bumping into it or anything like that. So we have ours in a guest room. We'll set that baby up, put in the humidity, and put in on the heat. And then you're going to get ready for day 2 when you can put your little guys into the incubator. We're in the guest room, and I want to talk about our incubator and what features you want to look for when you're looking for your own incubator. So first off is talking about the temperature and humidity. So in this incubator, you can actually go ahead, it's a digital incubator, so you can go ahead, add in the front, the temperature. You want to make sure that you're at 99.5 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you're going to add in the humidity, and that's going to be gauged by you actually putting water into your incubator. When you're going ahead and prepping this, you're going to want to make sure to stabilize at around 50 as your humidity level. Now, throughout the duration of this incubation period, it is going to drop in humidity as it uses up that water, and you're going to need to make sure that you are refilling that water throughout, and you're adding in the humidity so that you are consistent with that. When you take off the incubation lid, it is probably going to change the temperature, but I wouldn't worry too much about that because when you put it back on, it should be able to stabilize back to that specific temperature. Another really important factor of making sure that you incubate good eggs is being able to turn them. So during the incubation process, it's going to usually be around 14 days. So you'll put the eggs into the incubator, and the next day is going to count as your first day. So at a day 14, you're going to actually remove the egg turner, but throughout the process, you're going to want to keep this egg turner in. And what it will do is you can program your machine to actually turn anywhere from 1 to 3 times per day. If you do not have an egg turner, then you will need to go in and actually turn them on your own. And you're going to want to do this around 1 to 3 times, probably more like 2 to 3 times per day, so that they are actually rotating. And you're making that movement as if there was a hen on top of her eggs, actually moving the eggs below. At day 14, you will stop turning the eggs, you will remove the egg turner, and then you can put the lid back on. And we're going to go ahead and increase the humidity at this time, bump it up to anywhere from around 70 degrees humidity. You're going to do this because it's going to really help with the eggs and being able to hatch out of the eggs, and it's going to just provide some additional support there. From day 14, you're going to want to make sure to not lift the lid of your incubator and really keep that closed. And this is because when they're in this part of their incubation, if you do open it, it will shrink wrap the eggs and probably hurt or wound or kill any of the quail that are in there that are trying to get out. By boosting up the humidity at this time, it is going to make it easier for these quails to actually crack out of their eggs, and it's just going to help with the entire process. And so once you start to see that your eggs are cracking, I usually like to leave them in there for around 24 hours, let everyone kind of crack out. And usually you'll see that quail can actually continue to hatch out up until day 21, which is around 5 days more. You're usually going to have around day 15 to 17, you're going to start to see some of the hatching begin. We usually do buy your quail eggs just because the travel is a little iffy. I would usually say that it's going to be around a 50% hatch rate is what most resellers are going to be selling their eggs at. After you've waited for quail to hatch, you're going to slowly take them out of the incubator. So give them that 24 hours after the first quail hatches, and then you can start to remove some of them. Definitely the least amount of opening of the incubator you can do, the better, just because it can wound any of the eggs that might be trying to break out, but it's gonna really shrink wrap that interior of the eggs. From there, you can go ahead and actually move your quail into a brooder. So this is the hatching time brooder that we have. We actually assembled it and this is our first time using it. So we are definitely going to do a review because in the past we have built them. So we're going to do a build versus buy and what we really think. But if you follow the directions for the setup here, you are going to want to make sure to maintain the heat as they are still really young. And we like to keep them inside just because it helps with the temperatures. If it is warmer out in your area, then go ahead, put them outside, keep them in a barn, keep them in an area where there isn't gonna be too much wind chill or too cold for them. You are gonna have a heat source for them, and every week we'll go ahead and actually reduce that by about 5 degrees. We're just now going into spring, so this is gonna be a perfect time where we can actually soon take them out of their brooder and actually put them into their cage that we have outside in our barn, and they will be a-okay. And for this, we're just feeding them some game bird food, so really good for them. Here we have little crumbles. Quail are very, very messy, so their food is going to get everywhere. You can see it's already down here. And you want to make sure to have a good supply of water for them. At the very beginning, we'll start off with a smaller water system. So this is kind of a smaller addition of our water, and then we're actually going up to an automated watering system. These guys grow really fast. This is just a couple weeks old and it's already gotten so big. They start off as little tiny, tiny little button-sized quails and really grow pretty quickly, which is why we love our Coturnix quail. I hope that this was helpful for you guys, and we'll see you guys again next time. Bye.